Hello and welcome everyone. One of the most important videos in the entire series of videos that we have discovered and taught ourselves with. We are going to talk about the logical statements. Yes, the if formula and formula or formula. How do you combine multiple if statements together to give a quick decision making analytical tool in Excel? Now, let's say I have the details of a company's employees, the salary, the division that they work for, and the rating. Rating 1 being good, rating 5 being bad. Now, taking a very simple example where I say that rating 1, 2, 3 is grouped as good, rating 4, 5 considered as bad. Now, I would want that based on this logic, automatically the message should come out as good in this particular cell. If subsequently this rating is downgraded to 4, it should automatically change to bad. Now, how to make that happen? Let's find out. Let me start with 5. Okay. Now, let's say I start writing if. Now, before I proceed, I would want you to look closely at the logical hints. It says logical test, value if true, value if false. That means there are 3 parameters. The first one is talking about a single question. It is logical test, not tests. So one question that you can ask, the question's answer should be in true or false. So that's the way I'm going to frame the question. I ask if the cell which contains the rating is less than 4. Now why would I put less than 4? Because less than 4 includes 1, 2 and 3, which is going to be grouped under good. So if that's the question I ask, it's a single question. I put a comma so that the next parameter gets activated, which says value if true. If this particular question's answer is yes, true, what must you do? I want to give out a message which says good. Now, in the initial part, you may think of writing good straight away. But wait, when you're giving out any message in text or special character or a series of alphanumeric numbers, you might want to put in double quotation open, then give the message good, close the double quotation. So that is how it accepts any such alphanumeric value, comma. If the question's answer is not so, it's not true, that means it can either be rating 4 or 5. If it is so, then in that case, the answer going out should be bad. Double quotation closed. No more hints to talk about because I have posted 3 different parameters hints. Closing the brackets, enter. Now just to test it out, rating 1, good. Rating 3, good. Rating 4, that's bad. Double click. You'll get the multiple judgments based on the rating. So bad, good, bad, and all these verdicts coming out. Now just a quick recap. This is the basic example of if statement. So one simple question you ask, if that logical test's answer is true or yes, what you must do. If it is not so, then what else must you do? Okay. Now let me introduce a twist in the question. What if I say rating 1, 2 is good, 3 is okay, and 4, 5 is supposedly bad? Now there is something extra coming into picture which is saying okay. Now let's see how to proceed with this particular logic. I say if, pressing the tab key. Now this talks about a single question to be asked once at a time. So I ask the similar question that this cell which contains the rating, is it less than 3? And now why would I put less than 3 and not less than 4? Because less than 3 would include precisely 1 and 2. Which is to be marked as good. So if this question's answer is true or yes, the message going out should be good. But here comes the complexity. At this point in time, if this question's answer is false or not true, I cannot simply say okay. Why so? What if the rating could be 4, in which case it cannot be okay, it has to be bad. Again, I cannot put in a straight bad. Why? Because the rating can be exactly equal to 3, in which case this cannot be bad, it has to be okay. So these 2 sub-verdicts, I need to ask one more question. Now wait, if you are thinking of asking one more question here, you will not be able to do so. Why? Because it allows for only one question at a time. So at this moment, when I'm still hanging inside value if false, I can take an action. The action being, I can introduce one more if, and the new if is going to give me the opportunity to ask one more question. Logical test, fresh question. Now I ask, if the same cell contains a rating exactly equal to 3, so that's logical test. If this logical test's question answer is yes or true, what you must do? I must give a message saying okay, comma. Now to give the verdict bad, do I need to ask another question? No. In case if I read this statement from left to right, you'll notice you have already covered 1 and 2. If it is good, the decision making stops here. If it is not, it proceeds to the next question. It asks once again that if it is equal to 3. If it is so, it says okay and decision making stops here. But what even if this question answer is no? The only thing left to be said is, if it is not less than 3, if it is not equal to 3, it has to be more than 3. So in which case, the value if false should portray bad as result. Now I'll be careful with the closing brackets. One bracket closed, that's for this current if statement, and one more bracket closed for the mother if statement. So that's called nested ifs. If I press enter, and let me test rating number 3, okay, rating number 2, rating number 4, and there you go. So this was the quick introduction of if and nested ifs. We'll cover more ground as we go to subsequent sheets and case study. Till then, practice this. Thanks for listening.